It's Friday, and that means it's time for At the Box Office. We're now joined by film critic Julia Swift to hear her thoughts on the studio. Hi, Julia. Thanks for joining us.
Hello. So I am reviewing The Studio, which is a new TV show that's on Apple TV Plus, and it's about the movie studio system. So I was super excited about this, and it's Seth Rogen, and Seth Rogen can be hit or miss when he's being not just an actor, but he also in this he writes and directs and co-created the show. So the show is supposed to be a send up of the studio system, a really intense, not intensely funny comedy. Um, and it's just not that funny. It's not that insightful and it's not that funny. It kind of feels to me like it's trying to be something like Curb Your Enthusiasm with that cringe humor when you know what's coming and someone's doing something really embarrassing and you're like, oh, please don't. But in Curb Your Enthusiasm, you learn something about the human condition once you go through that uncomfortableness. And here we don't, there's no insight into the human condition. It's just uncomfortableness, and it's the same jokes that we've gotten about studios and people who run studios forever. This feels like it's made by a bunch of people who've watched movies forever and have heard these jokes and just want to be part of like an in crowd where we can do all these little things that maybe other people don't know, but we know. So, for example, every shot is played as if it's one shot, no cuts, which is hard for, so usually we do a close up and a medium shot and a long shot, and you can cut it all together in movie magic. But if you do one shot, then it's considered to be like extra hard and extra cool. For me, that is if it's motivated, if it makes sense within what's going on with the characters. And here they do one shot just because they're like, look what we can do. It's so cool. We can do things in one shot. And for example, there's Catherine O'Hara's in it. She's amazing, but she's amazingly not used enough in this. And so there's a shot with Catherine O'Hara and Evan Goldberg and I'm sorry, and Seth Rogen. Evan Goldberg's a co-creator with him. And we start way back and we can't even see them. We just see like two little tiny bodies on the edge, and they're having this intense personal conversation. And slowly, 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 we move in. And finally, by the time you get to see their voices, you don't even care what they're saying anymore because you're bored. Um, it plays on The Player, which was an old film that was really actually insightful and funny and had new things to say about the studio system. They even named the big studio CEO the same name. It has very similar music. The Player started with just one shot that was all done without cuts. But in this, we get it every single shot and it gets overwhelming. But I think that, our producer said it best, Chris, when he said, I don't know if he's funny or just annoying. And I think this show is not very funny. It is just annoying. The thing that is fun about it, and the reason I think it might actually do well, even though it's not very good, is that it has lots of stars. We've got Martin Scorsese, we've got Ron Howard, who was in one of the actual interesting episodes. So, really not worth it.
All right. Well, you've heard it from Julia. Thank you, Julia. And you can stream the studio on Apple TV Plus March 26th to check it out. Stay tuned. We'll be back after the break.